The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network. Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm Justin Lemmy.
Shawn is going to be joining us in a little bit, and I'm hoping that next week we get a chance to talk to Shawn a little more about the announcement earlier this week from DJI. Now, DJI, the makers of some really great drones over the years and gimbals, have put together their new DJI Mini Pro 3, which is just amazing when you look at what you got with the DJI Pro 2. The DJI Pro 2 drone was neat. The quality of the graphics was still good, but they've introduced not only a 4K 60 frames per second video on this, but also some new features that are a part of it that will allow the drone to fly between elements where it does the avoidance system. It has that built in, but they've got a new controller. Now, if you want to get just the drone, you can get it for under $700. But if you want to get the controller as well, it is pretty amazing. It has some new features that are built into it. And again, if you want to take a look at some of the footage that was captured, check out our blog. We've got it there for you. blog.techtalkradio.com. You'll find it all there. And I do know that the DJI Pro 3 will be shipping towards the end of the month. We're hoping we're able to get our hands on one so we can do a demonstration of the unit as well. But again, looks pretty amazing stuff. Also, when I did my Fox 11 segment earlier this week, Andrew asked me about streaming. And now with streaming services changing, CNN is gone. It's done. You know, they tried to do a launch of that and was wondering, you know, is that kind of the nod that streaming services are going away? And we'll cover more of this next week, but no, it's not. There's even more services coming online. There's services like GAC that are going to be around. So we'll cover more of that in next week's show. But this week has been kind of crazy for so many things when it comes to the world of technology. Look at everything else going on. The price of this is going up. And the cost of gas is going up. We got the situation in the Ukraine. This morning, I was working and I thought, we ought to be talking a little bit about crypto.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Justin sent me a note just before the show. And it was like, dude, I've been thinking about this all day, that we should probably focus a little on it. Now, before we get started, we got to say it because it involves a crypto and it involves some kind of, an investment on some people. We are not advisors. We're not experts. We're people that we've dabbled in it. We're not telling you to do it. So please, this is for entertainment purposes, but there's a lot to learn here. We're going to be talking a little bit about that today.
I wouldn't say just entertainment purpose. I say informational, but yes. But with that being said, now normally, as you've listened to Tech Talk Radio in the past, we interviewed Joe Blackburn, who's is the founder and a very big contributor to both Crypto Coin Trader, which is a Facebook group, and also Tech Talk Radio. We've had him on many, many times. But tonight, we're going to go the exact opposite. And we're going to bring in Joe's counterpart, who's also a moderator of Crypto Coin Trader, O'Neill. Now, I'm sorry, O'Neill, can you pronounce your last name for me?
My last name is Lantigua.
I could have done that, Justin.
Well, I'm sorry. Let's try that again.
It's good to have you, O'Neill. Thank you, man, for coming on the show.
No, thank you.
Now, O'Neill, you're on Crypto Coin Trader. You're kind of known as I get people call you the Bear Moon. Now, I guess if you're into crypto trading or whatever, you understand the concepts of bull market versus bear market. A bull market is when the stocks are going up. A bear market is when the stocks are going down. And you're known as the exact opposite of Joe because you're always talking about things going down. And so therefore people, you've referred to yourself as the Bear Moon, and the Bear Moon has spoken and all this. And so you catch a lot of flack on the Crypto Coin Trader group, but I would like to give you a chance to let people understand you. Where do you come from? Why do you believe in the things that you believe in?
Oh, thank you, guys. When it comes to my beliefs, especially for the crypto space, I've always, in all topics, have been to question everything. Why is there so much popularity on certain things? Why is there so many negativities? So for me, I've always been in a position to always favor the unpopular opinion. What people don't
the
want
devil's
to hear.
advocate, yeah.
Exactly, the devil's advocate. So for me, I like to mostly I get more to engage my audience to pretty much highlight those things so they don't turn the blind eye, to
Mm.
put emphasis on it. Because, unfortunately, when everything is in a bull market, people tend to just only think of
Hmm.
up and they don't think about the opposite consequence. I always like to be that subconscious reminder, for people.
Being that said, you have talked multiple times about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin, for lack of better terms, Bitcoin is going to die, and that alone
Man.
just well, I mean, it kind of because like hear me out. You've talked about how Bitcoin is not going to last, and for a lot of reasons that scares people.
Yeah.
Because they've invested into Bitcoin, they bought their money into Bitcoin, and they might be people that have just joined this massive group, Crypto Coin Trader, on Facebook. I mean, what, your guys are up to like 200,000 some members, and you get these new people that are joining this group, and then you come along and you talk about how Bitcoin's going to die and it's going to be, something else going to take over. Can you kind of describe a little bit about why you think negatively about Bitcoin?
Well, for me, I can honestly say that yes, I come off pretty aggressively with that stance of Bitcoin not lasting forever. My thing is, I personally believe that over time, first generation systems like, for example, Bitcoin itself, is something that is more experimental in the early phases of the space. That's going to eventually introduce other things that are more practical to replace that. So I try to also take the stance of educating people as much as I can and introducing them to other projects that has that potential to stand out as a contender to eventually replace Bitcoin.
Think about it, O'Neill. I mean, since Bitcoin, first appeared and people were kind of, rumoring and whispering about this thing called cryptocurrency, you look at where we're at now with all the different digital options that people have, it can be overwhelming. And one of those could be a gigantic win someday for somebody, the big investment of their life. But if they're only looking at Bitcoin, you make a really good point. They're not seeing every opportunity that exists in the world.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, I've been in this space for many years, and from my experience, seeing how, especially Twitter being a perfect example of cult-like hype kind of train, and get on the wagon with this kind of stuff. It becomes cluttered with so much sometimes misinformation and misleading people into sometimes falling into scams. But on the other side, like for example, being in the proper communities where people actually care and filter out that kind of misinformation, there is like to give people, hey, look, you're not going to get that 5,000% return, 20,000% return with Bitcoin in the beginning, but there's a chance that you could do it with something else. I remember when Solana was listed on the FTX exchange for I think it was probably $2 or maybe even less.
Right.
And all of a sudden it jumped up over to $250 or even more, if I recall correctly. Like that is insane. But what I'm also trying to say with people that there are phases to the cycle. And the thing is that with Bitcoin, if people are jumping in right now in this train and with the conception that, every cycle, every 4 years after the halving, Bitcoin is going to do this 10,000% return. It's not realistic because you got to account for market cap. I mean, Bitcoin was the first of its kind to be over $1 trillion. If you compare in stocks, the biggest company right now, I think, is Apple with over 2 trillion.
Yeah.
And for it to continue quadrupling, it's going to take more and more trillions for that value to continue going up like that. So you got to be realistic and say, where's the money going to come from?
What you're saying is, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, that's probably the most stable of things out there. But when you're talking about all these other opportunities, which some of these opportunities are very good and very lucrative, and others are just kind of fly-by-night coins that are going to dump and then you're going to lose your money. What you're referencing is you got a better opportunity to possibly make more money if you do your research and get into the right alternate coins, which in the crypto space we call them altcoins, as you know, rather than Bitcoin, because you think that Bitcoin is getting a little too dated. It's a little bit older technology. It's not as fast. It doesn't have as many applications anymore. But if you try to get into things like Solana or Avalanche or Atom or anything like that that's popping off right now. Well, not right now. Everything's kind of down right now. But you get what I'm saying is, but you're gonna be taking a bigger risk on those because they haven't been established. Is that correct?
Correct. But they're still relatively new to the space.
How do you respond, though, the people that have got ahead and got in the right time? They've stayed the course. You know, it's like Phil Collins made up the word Studio. You know, crypto has created the word hodl.
You had to bring in Phil Collins into this, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a challenge to use that word in the show.
I knew you did. I knew you did it.
But seriously, though, the hodl, is that still important? And how does, other than visiting Crypto Coin Trader and trying to weed through some of this stuff, how does somebody know when is the right time to say, dump it?
This is what I try from a technical standpoint, is that I try to have people rethink what actually is a bear market. People think, it's panic fear, when in fact, it's really the greatest opportunity for you to scoop everything that you can, even if you have to close your eyes.
Yeah.
Because then once the bull market comes back, that's when you're going to make life-changing gains.
And that's kind of what we might be going through right now.
Yes. And I say right now that, I think moments ago we were just slightly below $30,000.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. We're going to go a lot lower, way lower than
Really?
29,000.
You thinking in the 20s?
You're thinking 20 straight up, right?
I'm thinking, I'll put it to you this way. I would say we will temporarily likely have wicked below $20,000 temporarily, and then close above 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is the opportunity for somebody that might want to say, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Now's the time to get in.
And I've emphasized this on my post that, if that happens, just close your eyes and just buy.
Yeah.
Not just
Now,
Bitcoin, any other altcoin.
I want to say this real quick about you, O'Neill, because I've been involved with Crypto Coin Trader for a long time. And you, my friend, are the exact opposite of the other Blackburn that was once a part of Crypto Coin Trader by the name of Todd Blackburn. Now, it's no relation to Joe Blackburn, the founder of Crypto Coin Trader. But what I love about the two of you is that Todd always said Bitcoin is king. Everything else is
Nothing. Yeah.
it's the bad word coin, the poo coin, if you will.
Oh, you really had to really stretch that out.
I really had to stretch it out. I really needed to make this radio
like I'm
friendly.
still waiting for my Shiba to go up.
Yeah. But you are on the exact opposite. You're telling people that, hey, Bitcoin is not king anymore. It's going to be these other projects that are out there that can potentially, I guess, be the next Bitcoin, I guess, if you will.
Well, absolutely, because people need to account for Bitcoin. Its main purpose to be used as a peer-to-peer currency. But now, let's also take that argument that what Todd Blackburn said regarding Bitcoin as king, being king. Can we honestly say that now about Ethereum? Can we say that about Binance?
Yeah.
Binance.
Yeah, you're right. I can't argue with that. You're very right. I mean, times have changed.
All right, O'Neill, I got to ask, is there something, because you do this in a serious but kind of a light way, when, you just kind of say, hey, what are you thinking? Is there something, though, that kind of irritates you when you get into a chat and you see some of the things that people are saying? Is there one thing that really kind of just irks you that says, come on, open your eyes?
Yes. It mainly irritates me when I see new retail investors getting involved in the space and having not the most minimal understanding of technical analysis, of understanding what is a bull, what is a bear market, what are trend lines, even Fibonacci. All those things, they play overall a huge factor. The market itself is psychological, and you have to be able to understand and identify those patterns when they're playing a huge part, especially right now, what's taking place.
The research isn't just about looking at where it stands today and where it was yesterday. It's looking a lot deeper of the possibilities and how it's being done, correct?
Absolutely.
See, I was right about something.
I know, right? So there's some people that do, technical analysis on Crypto Coin Trader. Can you name off one of your favorite people? No.
Putting him on the spot.
I don't want to. I'm putting you on the spot here. But some people in the crypto coin trader do some amazing technical analysis that you just mentioned. Can you name off maybe just one or two people that you like what they do? You kind of like the direction they're heading with their analysis of what's happening.
I definitely want to give a shout out and a lot of credit to Tim Pace in the CCT community.
Oh, yeah.
Tim is great. Tim is great. I actually subscribed to Tim's course.
Very great content he has there. Now, I'll be honest. In my journey of crypto, when I started, one of the few YouTube pages that I really gave me a better understanding the cycles of crypto. And I think the key reason for that is because of how simple this guy was with his approach. Was Crypto Crew University. Now, I'm not saying to buy his course because, believe it or not, he has so much content that is free that alone is enough to give you a huge advantage, compared to people that are starting that have no premise of technical analysis.
O'Neill, we see a lot of the media, CNN, Fox, all of them want to jump on and talk about this. They want to talk about this digital currency. And they it seems like a lot of them kind of grab from the current trend, like, oh, it's trending down. Bitcoin is trending down. Is there a way to educate the media so that they can accurately report on what is going on in
do
this
what we're doing
digital
right now.
world? Yeah,
That's what we got. Yeah, do what we're doing right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, one thing I could definitely say that people should always do the opposite of whatever CNBC tells you. That's for sure.
Oh, you're gonna make Kramer mad.
Yeah.
Especially Jim Cramer.
Yes.
Do the opposite.
That's funny. That's good.
Man. Well, this is cool. So you're basically seeing that this is going to maybe keep going in the trend that it's going. We could eventually maybe see some pops. How does somebody learn more about this?
My suggestion would be to honestly just get involved in the community. Speak with the moderators at the admins. There is so much free resource out there that you don't have to go to these scammy websites to learn about what crypto is.
Yeah.
Avoid that. I never had to do any of that. A lot of my stuff that I know today is self-taught.
Well, also, there is the Crypto Coin Trader group on Facebook. If you happen to be on Facebook, you can join that group on Facebook. Now, the one thing I have to say, though, is it's gotten a lot better recently because they made you a moderator, O'Neill. Maybe not. I don't know. But it used to be that it was kind of
more one-sided.
It was kind of one.
Yeah.
It was kind of one-sided, but also people would go in there and they would ask honest questions, and they would get made fun of because people that had more experience were like, "Oh, look at this noob in here,"
They'd be heckled.
Asking, they'd be heckled about it. But it's gotten a lot better now, where people haven't been doing that. So I would say that if you're new to the crypto space or you're just interested in crypto, Crypto Coin Trader on Facebook is one of the, if not the best resource for social media when it comes to the cryptosphere.
Cryptosphere? Did you make that up?
No, I didn't. Wait, did I just make up?
I think you just did. Susu Studio me.
Oh wow,
O'Neill. So what really excites you still though about this digital crypto world or cryptosphere? What kind of still pushes you to say, wake up in the morning and go, this could be a good day?
I mean, I'll be honest. I grew up being a tech guy, and I've always had a passion for this, and it's something that just naturally gravitates to me.
Yeah.
So every day I always take a chance to what? Let me just look into this. And, how can I relate this to that? And probably, bring it up to the community just so I can hear the feedback. So the engagement of that is enough incentive for me to keep pushing. I would like to add one more thing, though.
Yes.
Regarding the market. One thing I got to say to everybody that's listening to this is that until the Federal Reserve doesn't stop increasing the basis points, do not expect anytime soon for the market to do a reversal. Don't expect that how they called it back in 2020, that K recovery, I think was what it was for COVID. So, I always say this. and what it has been handed down to me in my early days. It doesn't matter if it's Michael Saylor, Elon Musk, or Bezos. When it comes to the Federal Reserve, never bet against the Fed when it comes to the markets. You never do.
Okay.
You're going to come out losing.
Well, great stuff once again, and great closing part there.
Neil.
Thank you, Anil.
Yeah.
We do appreciate
Thank you so
it.
much.
Oh, no problem, guys. Thank you for having me on the show.
Very cool. We're going to take a quick break. Shawn is standing by. We're going to talk with him coming up.
I'm Justin Lemmy, and you can find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
All right, people, break out your notebooks and pencils and slide rules. You're listening to Tech Talk Radio with true geeks. And by the way, I'm Dee Snyder, and I'm a geek too.
One of the things I finally finished, I finally hooked up the computer that I had built back in November.
Oh, finally.
Back in November. Finally. The only thing I haven't done yet is installed, I've got two M2s. I've got an M2 Black, which is super fast, responsive, and then I've got the regular blue M2, but I haven't hooked that one up yet. The hardest part, really, anytime you start do a new computer build, is copying all the programs, getting all the licenses installed. Turned out but going through this, it was kind of cool because I've had somebody that approached me with a drive that was not clicking. It was just lighting up, but not showing up, being identified. There are so many different ways you can go with that to try and get it repaired. It wasn't showing up at all in disk management, but I found out I had a copy of Acronis Disk Director. And I don't know if you guys have ever used that, but it's, we know Acronis is making, the cyber home software now, which is great. But I had a license for Disk Director. I haven't used it in a couple of years.
Is that kind of like a disk defragmenting software?
It's a disk analyzer, disk optimizer. Basically, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. And, it's one of the high-end programs that Acronis put out some years ago. So I went ahead and I found the license for it, and I went ahead and installed it. And sure enough, I'm seeing the drive, and when it shows up as a drive that's not been formatted. Now, this is a drive that was in use, a 2 terabyte external that was in use, and suddenly it just stopped being identified. And it's showing that the drive's not formatted. It's showing that it's there. It's not been set up at all. So, my decision for this guy is to tell him, well, there's nothing really you can do because I can't do anything with this software. And he was like, well, I heard things on the web, you can open them up and no, you don't want to do that. Once you do that, there's no guarantee you're going to get it back. So that's what I've been working on. But nonetheless, getting all the passwords and everything set up. We should have our Wirecast set up so that we will be doing video of this.
All right.
We all have faces made for radio, but except for Shawn, Mr. Handsome over there.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing.
Well, Shawn
I've got the most hair.
Bro.
And it's still dark. It's not white like mine.
Yeah. You just had a baby. Give it 3 years.
Yeah, just 3. You're giving him 3?
I'm giving him 3, and he's going to turn full
I've
gray.
already got more grays in the last 7 weeks than I've had in my lifetime.
Yep.
But
how is the little one, and how is
good? Yeah, good. So it's been a transition, right? He's sleeping better every night.
Good.
And we're transitioning. We're doing sleep transitioning from. We were co-sleeping for a little bit just because he wasn't sleeping well, and now we're transitioning back into the bassinet, which is not going super well.
Yeah.
So that's
Dude,
why
my
I was
boy's
late.
5
That's
years
why I
old,
was
and
late
he's-
tonight, right? So it was like I was carrying him around, so he got sleeping. He was sleeping good, right? And you put him in there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm asleep." And then he his eyes, their eyes just shoot open, and they're like, "This is it. I'm awake again." And then you start the whole sleeping process over again. The whole whatever. Usually it's about after Caitlin feeds him, it's usually a good 15 to 20 minutes of walking him around the house, and he's out. So, but once he wakes back up, it's it's rinse and repeat again. So
let me tell you, my boy's 5 years old and he still co-sleeps from time to time.
Yeah.
No, that's we enjoy co-sleeping. We because it allows us to both sleep.
Oh, you won't once
At
he
the
gets
same
older
time.
and he starts kicking you in the face.
But no, it's been great. It's been great. So I think it's great, just from a technology standpoint, the ability to take and send pictures and videos instantaneously to family members has been really great. Sharing them on my cousin, with my cousins on Snapchat, and those types of things. And haven't run into too many issues, but I'm seeing it more and more with my friends and in my family that are having kids that are setting digital boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's hit or miss on family members that push back on the digital boundaries. So you say, I'm sending you these pictures, don't post them online.
Yeah.
And some people give you attitude like, oh, I want to share it so all my friends can see it. Well, I don't want you to share it so your friends can see it.
Well, that's not
I
your
want you
kid.
to have it.
Yeah.
And so my parents have been great. Caitlin's parents have been great. But I've had some other friends whose parents have gone behind their backs and posted stuff or posted things without asking.
Report them on Facebook and get their account banned.
Well, that's, yeah.
Right. So it's a weird, growing up for us, right? We had video cameras and we had still cameras and stuff like that, but we never had the level of I had zero digital footprint, right? Zero. So it's weird to be in a position where we are the curators of Max's digital footprint.
That's true.
Right. We are his digital footprint right now.
Yep.
And it's weird to think that he has no say in what we do with his digital image right now. Right. That's the whole point of being a kid, right? Your parents are your guardians until you're 18. But it's weird to think that as he grows up, how does our influence with technology affect the way he sees technology, the way he handles technology, the way he perceives technology? Even just like, I know Justin has a 5-year-old, right? And even when Eric was born, right? The technology has changed so much in that 5 years. Justin, how have you seen it affect Eric as a kid?
Well, okay, I can give you a perfect example. I think this was like a year and a half ago. Eric was taking a bath, and Misa took a picture of him. Now, the picture that she took didn't expose. It was a bubble bath, so it didn't expose any private areas. But she posted it on Facebook saying, hey, this is my kid, and and he's having such a good time. And even Eric, looked at that and he was like, don't post that. And he knew the concept of posting, because he's like, and Misa was like, well, why do you not want to post this? And he was like, I don't want to show people me, so like, even at the time, what he'd be like 4 years old, maybe, he was like, I don't want people to see me like this. And so, he already understood the concept, even though if he doesn't understand social media, he understood the concept of taking a picture and then sharing it with your friends. He was like, no, that's me. That's private. Like, I don't want that. As cute as
it is, it's him.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't want that. And so I can totally understand where you're coming from, is that, as we progress in technology and the ability to, share family private moments are getting more increasingly public.
It's like that same thing, Justin, when we saw maybe just like a year ago, where people were taking images of people that had passed and were digitizing them. They're My Heritage.
And turning them into a live action thing,
and turning it into a live action where they're turning their head and smiling. And these are people that have been dead for maybe 25, 30 years. But the hard part about that is not thinking, and we're in such a, I got to post that society, whether it be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snap, wherever. But we forget that there are people that are going to see that it's going to have an effect on them, that it's going to hurt. And we go through this every year when, my son passed away back in 2014. Every year, those pictures start getting posted by the relatives, and it hurts. I had somebody, Shawn, call me here at the station because, my daughter had a son and who's now, 7 months old. And they called me wondering why I had not posted any pictures and what kind of grandfather was I.
Oh my gosh, really?
And, I think they were kind of maybe just, joking with me a little bit, saying, you talked about your grandson on the radio, which I can do, but you never post a picture. What kind of grandfather are you? And I remember kind of laughing nervously at that because we did that. We set up the boundaries. My daughter set them up and basically said, we don't want pictures of him online. And I think that's absolutely 100% fair.
Well, it's weird from a societal standpoint. It's weird because the niche part of the internet that allowed everybody an instant access to your life, right?
Yeah.
Everybody shared everything because it was new, right? So everybody now has this expectation of, oh, I'm going to see Shawn's life events. I'm going to see when he gets engaged. I'm going to see when he gets married. And they did, right? They saw all
happy
that,
birthday,
right?
Shawn. It's your birthday. Facebook told me it was your birthday.
Yeah.
Right. So all of a sudden now the curtains are getting pulled back and you're now only seeing what people want you to see. And
hold on. I got to argue with that a little bit.
All right.
That right there, you're only seeing what people want you to see. That has been the thing since the very beginning. People don't post, oh, hey, I just got in a massive argument with my wife and we're on the verge of a divorce.
They used to. I've seen those.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
but people don't really post that kind of stuff. Oh, I just got in a car accident and I'm fighting for my life in the hospital right now. People don't really post that kind of stuff. People post their curated lives on social media. And that is actually one of the reasons why, I don't talk about him very much, but my brother wanted to leave my friendship on social media because I was always posting the better parts of my life,
right?
Because that's what I wanted to share. And he was like, wow, you got this perfect life. And I don't really care to see it anymore because I don't have that perfect life. And I don't really care to see how good you're doing. And so people do that. They post their curated lives online.
A friend of mine, Randy Archer, who's in a band that plays here in town, was called a narcissist because he posts photos of himself and posts when the band's playing. But he's promoting what he does. It's what he loves to do. I post stuff from Fox 11 or even here at the radio station. Am I a narcissist? Yeah, there might be some of that, but I was like, hey, this is what I love doing. So again, I'm posting what people want to, what I want people to see. I don't want them to see my bad side. I didn't want to see them with my haircut the other day before I had the haircut with my hair that looked like Bozo. I wanted them.
Yeah.
I would rather put on a good face forward.
Yeah. No, going back to what Shawn said, though. Go continue. I'm sorry to interrupt, Shawn, but yes.
Oh, you're seeing, right. So I'll concede to Justin that people are giving them this curated look on their life. I agree with that. But what you're seeing now is less and less, where people were posting a lot more intimate details about their curated life, right?
Yeah, true.
But now you're seeing less. And I guess that's kind of what I was trying to make my point is you're seeing less of that. And so people are like, wait, how come you're not posting as much? How come I don't see as much? Where are your kids? Where's your family? Where's your wife? Right. And from my perspective, when I got rid of my Facebook, it was kind of a jarring thing for me because we had people reaching out to Caitlin saying, hey, what happened?
Yeah. Right.
Why does it say you're no longer married? Why does it say you're interested in men?
They think there's a problem in the relationship
then.
And then it's like, wait a minute. Well, why it didn't say anything to Caitlin that happened. It didn't say that Shawn got rid of his account.
Once you once you deleted your account, it took her off of took you off of her profile saying that she was married to you and it diverted back to her previous status update saying interested in men.
That's kind of,
and in the short amount of time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I got rid of my Facebook, Caitlin began receiving targeted ads for eHarmony, Match.
Oh my gosh.
Tinder. All those things.
God. Really?
It aggregated that data from Facebook, right? So it's just such a weird thing where it's like so much of your life is tied in that even when you leave, it still comes back in a way that's like, it's just weird.
that whole the show. I can't remember if it's on Netflix or whatever it is, but the Social Dilemma.
Yeah, great
It
show.
talks about how once there's that scene where the kid gets his phone taken away for 72 hours or whatever it is, and the algorithm, quote unquote, is portrayed by a human in the show, but the algorithm's like, hey, he hasn't posted in 24 hours. What should we do? Hey, you know what? He likes this. Send him an ad. Or oh, hey, I know he likes this girl. Send her a quick status update telling her what she's doing. And that kind of draws him back into social media because that's its job, is to keep you engaged in its platform.
I'm wondering, Shawn, is there a point in time where you will feel more, I want to say, more easy about sharing photos online? Or do you think that really this should be the norm?
I don't know. I think it's still just going to be curated by us. Like, this is Max. This is what we want to share, right? I don't.
Well, you send me snaps. You send me snaps of him sometimes.
Yeah, but that's between friends.
Right. That's
not to the world.
I mean, some people will screenshot them, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm not sending it. I'm not necessarily doing it to my story where everybody on my feed sees it. I'm picking and choosing who I'm sending stuff to, right? So the people I'm sending to, I trust that they're not going to post those online or share them with other people. Justin's been sharing them.
About that. Yeah, there's a whole new Facebook page called Shawn's Baby. Yeah, it got like 1,000 members now.
You are kidding me. I hope you're kidding me.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was going to come through and pop you in the eyeball.
You almost said it, too. You almost said a radio boo-boo right there.
All right.
But, go ahead.
We got to take a break. We come back, though. I have got something new that I bought. I think it's pretty cool. It all ties into what I was going to talk about earlier with my build. But we'll do that. And any closing thoughts, too, on how do you manage when you have a new child or some big event that has gone on. So we'll do that when we come back on Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Tech Talkers. We'll be right back.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Thanks for your help, and keep up the good work. You got a great show.
So just a couple closing thoughts on from the last segment is how we manage sharing photos with family, right? So we have a shared family Google Drive, right? That is, I purchased the 2 terabyte family drive, right? So this is where I store. This is where I store all of my mom's side of the family archive, my dad's side of the family archive, Caitlin's side of the family archive, and all of my photos that I'm taking, right? So I think I'm using like 400 gigs right now or something, of just across all the photos, across all that. But the family version of Google, right? So
I didn't even know there was one. That's kind of cool.
So you can do a family sharing. So you can share that data across your family plan. You can share up to 5 accounts. So for medical purposes, to create an account for Max, we had to create an email so that he could become a proxy on Caitlin's account.
Got it.
Wow.
So Max already has an email address.
That's amazing.
So I manage all of the purchases from Google and Apple for storage, right? Through my Google and my Apple ID. Caitlin created the family account and shared with me and shared with Max's email, shared with my parents and shared. The only way to make a different Google account a parent of a child account, just go to Google. It's so frustrating because I couldn't share it with him because I wasn't the parent. Because she made the account and she made it as she was the parent of Max's account. And so I was like, okay, I want to just make it so I can share it across all these accounts, the Google data across all these accounts. The only way to remove a child account and move it to another Google account is to delete the account.
Oh, that's not good.
So I can't go to Google and I can't say, I would like to move ownership of this child's account from Caitlin's email to my email, from Gmail to Gmail. Can't do it. It's not possible.
Wow.
And Google's own forums, their own troubleshooting tips say, you have to delete it and recreate the account and link it again.
Wow.
And
So,
when
but
the
wait, it's already an
timeline,
established account. It's already linked.
Yeah.
I can't delete it and then remake it because there's going to be a time period where that email's not available, right?
right?
So
Plus, your photos are in time order, right? So if
Correct.
you did
So-
that, would it read the meta off of it and then still put them? You don't know.
No idea. So thankfully, if an owner of a Google account that has, because I bought the 2 terabyte data plan on my Google, but
Sure,
I had to
yeah.
share it with Caitlin first and then go to her account and then share it to the other accounts that I wanted to share it with.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it was very
Wow.
confusing. So Google, if you're listening,
Fix it.
fix it.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh boy. All right. So I did a build and I finally got it done, got it hooked up. And what did I find out? I'm out of USB ports. I don't know if you guys, my last computer, I had no problem. I had USB ports on the top, in the middle. I had them on the back, and I was fine. And now I'm like, I use the Asus 590, and I'm out of ports. So I went 2 routes. First route, this one is inexpensive. Well, kind of inexpensive. It's Sabrent, and we've talked about them before, but it's a 7-port USB 3.0 hub with 2 fast charging ports. So if you want to fast charge your smartphones, you could do that. It fits on your desktop. It's very small, and it comes with a stand. But what some people do is they take it and they put it upside down on their desk, hidden away, so they just plug it into the front of it with the 5 USB ports that are in the front for that.
You are going to send me that, right?
No, I bought this. This is mine. Why, do you need one? Do you need one too?
Well, I kind of do because I have that brand new Surface Pro for work.
Right.
And I got this tiny little, I guess it's it's a USB extension, but it also has HDMI, SD card, but it doesn't really work that well. And again, I'm plugging it into the Surface Pro dock because again, the Surface Pro only has 2. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, 2 USB 3.0 USB-C ports.
Right.
So to have the dock allows me to have actual USB 2.0, if you will, or well, actually USB 3.0, but USB-A type of port.
Right. So you're going to get 5
That would be
5
cool.
gigabits per second.
But it's not powered.
This one is powered. Yeah.
This is powered.
This is powered. Now, the nice thing about this, because it's USB 3.0, it was only $32. And I was able to pick it up. Yeah. So, but I also, on the same breath, decided I wanted to put one inside. Now, I don't know if you have a available PCI Express port. I had one.
I actually did buy a PCI Express USB expansion, but the thing is it requires a actual dedicated power adapter.
Right.
And I have not I've put the PCI card in my computer, but I have not taken my tower down from its perch to connect the power supply to it. So I've had this PCI expansion slot probably for about a year now, and I've never
used
hooked it up to actual power. Yeah.
So here's a question for both of you. If you look at your motherboards, is there an open header for USB 3? Because at that point, you wouldn't have to use a PCIe Express slot. You could just buy a USB back plate that fits in the back in that slot that just runs to the header.
Right.
Instead of wasting a PCI Express slot. And then it doesn't require power. Then it
No, it does require power. If you want to have the ability to have the fast speeds plus the charging, it has to have a dedicated power.
No, because
if you're looking for the fast USB 3.0, I believe does up to 20 amps. No, not 20 amps. 20 volts.
20.
I'd have to look at it, but there's a specific voltage that it does, that it can do, but it can't do the fast charging because the powered ones obviously are powered and can have dedicated power.
Powered ones are powered. Yes.
I'm just going back. I'm going back to Shawn's comment about the 20. Your USB can do 20 amps. I'm like, so you're telling me that my USB port can run my refrigerator?
Incorrect.
All right. So let me tell you though, Justin. This one was $32, right? This hub, which goes in your desk, you can find it. It's from Sabrent, Sabrent. But I found a PCI Express card. I do have a slot. It's from a company called C&N, and it has 3 USB 3.2 slots, 2 USB-C slots, does not require power, and plugs directly into the PCI Express port and gets its power from there. And so I went ahead and installed that. So I can get up with the 3.2.
Does it?
Yeah, I could get up
Does
to.
it really?
Yes, I've already tested it
Wow.
out. Get up to 20 gigabits per second on there. And that's, again,
Really?
from a company called C&N. However, not cheap. That one with only 3 and then the 2 USB, $38. So
That's not expensive.
not too bad. But, I mean, so I wanted to kind of do both to see which really worked out good.
Sure.
And I'm gonna use them all. I got so many USB ports now, they're just falling out of my ears. But
Wow.
either way, Samrit is one to look at, or C&N. You can find it Newegg. You can find it on Amazon. And again, $38, not too bad. So I'm
Nice.
just happy I got that taken care of. Now,
Yeah.
now I just got to figure out, what else do I have to figure out now? I have to figure out more passwords and software programs to install.
Yeah, right.
It's just crazy.
So,
If
the
password
I looked
program,
it
you
up.
should check out one password.
So
Yeah.
the USB-C spec, right? So if you're running USB-C at USB 3.0, it can draw 1.5 amps.
Okay.
Okay.
If you're running just the normal USB-C, not the USB-C, it's 900 milliamps.
Okay.
And that comes at, while using the USB-C, 20 volts. And I think it's probably between 2 and 1. I would imagine 2 and 1 amp, like 2.0 and 1.5 amps if you're running the normal.
I've seen some really cool USB hubs that are powered. There's one out there. I think it's got like 17, 16 ports, something like that on there. But they're USB 2.0. So again, don't sell yourself short. If you really want to get the throughput, and you've got external devices that are USB 3, 3.1, get that type of device, and you'll be a lot happier.
Awesome.
So I'm pretty happy with that. What else have you been working on? I mean, that's been the extent of my week, is reinstalling and installing.
I have just been working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's same for me. We've done because we're at the end of the school year, right? So we're at the end of our spring sports. So we hosted the women's ACC national championships.
Right.
So the couple weeks as the recording of the show, it was last weekend, right? We did 6 lacrosse games in 3 days.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That all aired on the ACC network.
Okay.
And then we had a couple baseball games and some other lacrosse games that were on ESPN2 and other ACC network stuff. And now we're done with sports for a minute, but now it's all commencement.
Oh, that's right.
Commencement. We're doing Saturday. This coming Saturday, we are doing 19 separate events on Saturday.
19.
Wow.
Do they ever have
Between-
special guests like Rudy show up?
They that's a sore topic around Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But usually they haven't announced it yet, but normally the first year of a presidency, the president comes and speaks at the commencement, right?
Right.
So, but COVID was during Biden's first year, so he didn't come. So it's rumored that Kamala Harris may come, but there's usually some sort of, keynote speaker at the graduation, but they always kind of keep it tight-lipped until it actually happens. So we don't know. But
Wow. That's still pretty good. And then did you have anything to do with that Garth Brooks show?
so somewhat, right? So because he performed in the stadium and we control the video board and the video ribbons around the
Right.
stadium, we had to make sure that the content, the emergency messaging content was available so that if there was an emergency that the board could get turned on and played stuff. What the cool thing was is that because we're partnered with NBC, they showed the Kentucky Derby on the video board in the bowl.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
wow.
different. Wow.
So we were me and my friend Steve, who came down to go to the show, we were standing in the bowl, just kind of waiting and checking, enjoying the crowd and kind of stuff. And they all of a sudden hey, hey, here's start of the Kentucky Derby on the video board. And it's just the crowd's getting into it. It was wild.
That's a trip.
I sent it
That
as a snap.
comeback,
so
by
Justin,
the
you
way,
probably saw it,
holy
but
cow.
yeah, that if you put, 80 to 1 odds, man, that's insane. But yeah, so that was cool. But just being there to support that. But then once the show started, I got out of there. Like I just stayed for one or two songs and then got out of there before I had to fight the traffic. Because
what did you say though? It registered as an earthquake?
Yeah, the show he did in Baton Rouge, he did a show. It registered like a 2-point-something earthquake with all the people excited and dancing
Wow. He
and
can
the music.
still pull those crowds.
Yeah, still can. All right, we can take another quick break. I've got a website of the week for you if you want to play a game.
I've got something even better.
All right, we'll do that when we come back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Send us a tweet at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
Bless you.
No, I tried to hold it.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So I've actually had something happen with my home that has to do with technology recently. We have a tankless water heater in our house, and it was installed by the builder. However, it is not a good quality tankless water heater. And
How old's your place?
6 years.
That's not that old.
It's not that old. But now it comes to the point where we turn on the hot water and it's 50-50 whether or not we get hot water or whether or not the water heater has thrown an error code, which means I have to go reset the breaker and then hope that it comes back on. So yesterday, I actually called out the local plumbing service and I said, look, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of dealing with it. I don't want this anymore. I want a new water heater, but I also want something that does whole home hot water circulation. Because especially in the winter, and again, we're up in Colorado, so during the winter, it gets cold. And in the upstairs, so 2 floors above where the water heater sits, it can take up to 5 minutes to get hot water.
Oh, that's not good.
And so it's a waste of water. So I said, I want a whole home water recirculation unit. So it's instant hot water. And I would also like to have a mineral filter put in so it can get rid of all the hard minerals. So after talking to the plumbers, we decided on getting a new water heater. Take a guess how much it cost us.
Well, I the day I closed on my home here, the next day my water heater went out. It was $2,000.
Okay, $2,000.
Yeah.
Shawn, what is your guess?
I had a friend replace theirs not too long ago. It was about $8,500, I think.
Whoa, really?
Okay, $8,500. Okay, so we dropped $14,000.
What?
Yeah.
For 14 grand, they better have somebody that comes out and scrubs me down,
That's more than my camper cost.
Yeah, I know. Yes,
The
but it
heck?
is also top of the line. It is Navion, which is a Japanese company. Now, it has no relation to my wife being Japanese. It just happens to be a Japanese company. But it is the top of the line residential unit where the Rinnai unit that I had before only puts out 4 gallons of hot water per minute. This one puts out 12 gallons per minute of hot water. Also has a complete whole home hot water recirculation system, so it's instant hot water the moment you turn it on, and it has the hard mineral filtration system, so that way it gets rid of all the filtration. So that retails for about $10,000, but then we add on the extras plus the parts and labor.
Installation.
It came to a total of $14,000.
Man, I thought mine was pretty
Well,
stacked.
also everything is more expensive now because of the part shortage and all that stuff. So yeah, everything. Like I was talking to the plumber, he was like, "Man, 2 years ago this thing was at $12,000, and now it's at 14." So
wow.
yeah,
mine's
you're getting the best of the
mine's
best.
not a tankless, so I don't know. Like honestly, I have no idea what that is.
Tankless just means it's on demand. So the moment you fire on your hot water, the ignition system kicks in and it starts heating the water as it goes through the pipes.
Got it.
So
all right.
so you've got that not instant, but you've got that on demand, and it's always going to happen. So you never run out of hot water. You could run that hot water for 24 hours a day and it's still going to give you hot water because it's constantly heating it. But with a tank system, you only get a certain amount of water before it stops, and then you have to refill it and boil it back up. So the tankless is a constant hot water. However, it's not instant. But having that recirculation pump makes it instant.
Remember, I'm in Arizona. The water's always boiling.
Yeah. You turn on the cold water, your water is hot as mine.
It is
hot water.
It gets like that. All right. Real quick website of the week. It's a lot of fun. You can have a good time with it. You go to golddigger.frvr.com. It's a game you
It's
play.
addicting.
It is. You're playing
Yeah.
it, right? So you play.
Yeah,
I've been
playing
playing
it
it
now.
this whole time. I wasn't even really paying attention.
It's like a little miner, and he has to go downstairs and break rocks, and it's just a fun game to play
It's
on
like
your
Dig
desktop.
Dug. It's
like
kinda like
Dig
Dig
Dug.
Dug.
That's what I
It
was
is
thinking.
very. It's exact. Yeah. It's addicting, and I'm already a couple levels in, and I'm blowing stuff up, and there's
Yeah,
actually
it's-
strategy and how you drop the rocks, and
Yeah, it's pretty
you
cool.
can upgrade your dude's got a nice looking beard going there, and
Yep. A lot of fun.
It's,
All right.
I might have just died.
Golddigger.frvr.com. You can play right there from your desktop. Nothing to download. It's free. It seems like it's a lot of fun. All right, that's it
Yeah.
for this week's Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. Have yourselves a great week.